Hi folks, today we're going to do a little feather splicing, kind of like on this here area here. You'll see them around. Feather splicing really makes an arrow look pretty good, and it's not really that difficult to do. However, the easiest way to get it done, to get spliced feathers, is to buy spliced feathers from somebody that sells them. But I know there's a lot of do-it-yourselfers out there that would like to do your own arrows and splice them. So we're going to do a little demonstration here and show you how you can do that at home. Most of the time, splicing feathers, you start out with a whole feather like this, and splice it together while it's still whole, and then use your feather cutter to cut the feather the way you want it, so it looks more like a shield cut feather or something like this, something you'd buy in the store. But a lot of folks don't want the expense of getting a feather cutter because they're only going to do feathers once in a while. They're not going to do a whole lot of arrows. So let me show you how you can do it without having a feather cutter and not getting into too much trouble anyhow. You can take some pre-made feathers, a couple colors. I got a brown one and I got a yellow one here, and actually make them out of these. And it's not overly difficult. It's a little time consuming, but you can do it. And what I do is, I don't know if you can see, I've got a couple marks here on my cutting plate. And I lay the feather down on the cutting plate, because if you're going to do it, you want all of them to look pretty much the same. And I get my place here to cut. And what I'm going to do is cut all the feathers like so. Remove them out of there. Cut them all the way down to the quill. Now you still have the quill skin here, and that'll get in your way gluing. So you need to get out, take this off of there. And the way you do that is you first off cut right up next to the feather. I don't know if you can see, but right up next to the feather. And you don't want to cut all the way through the quill, just enough to get down under the skin. That's all. You also want to cut along the side here a little bit. And what we're going to do is we're going to take that quill skin off and get up underneath of it. And once you get up underneath of it, get up underneath all of it, it'll peel off. See there? Now you have a nice smooth place to glue. Next thing I'm going to do, okay, now I've got that ready. Now I'm going to put the second color. I need to cut this so it'll fit right in, and what I'll do is I'll lay it here together and get the ends together like so, and then turn it on the back side and insert my knife in the second feather, removing this one, so I'll know where to cut, and then I'll cut it off. And you have this. And then what we're going to do is we're going to sand the quill off, because it's quite thick, and you don't need to double thickness. So we're going to sand some of this off, and to do that, I'm going to move over here where you can see the vise. We're going to put this feather in the vise where the quill's sticking up, like so. Something to hold it so you don't damage it. I'm going to go back to my emery board. You'll know from some of the other videos I use these emery boards a lot. They're really handy doing this kind of stuff. And then I'm just going to sand this here down. And you want to sand almost as much of this as you can get. You're not going to get all of it because you'll get down in there and you'll start damaging the feathers themselves. But you want to go ahead and work it on down. Like so. To where the quill itself is very, very, very thin. And yeah, I needed 3 berries because you need it very thin. In other words, there's just a little bit of the quill left onto the skin. Okay, there we go. We'll take that out, and we'll get some of our fletching glue, just like you'd put on your feathers. I use the Fletch Platinum. Works real good. There's some other good glues out there you can use, and you can see, if you look, see how thin the quill is on this. Very, very thin now. It's not as thick as it once was, like on this one, like on this feather here. See how thick it is? What we're going to do is we're going to apply some glue to it. Just kind of like if you were getting ready to put your feathers on your arrow. Apply a little glue all the way down. Make sure you got it. You don't want to overdo it, but you don't want to have any spots that it doesn't have glue on them. And then you take the first feather and this, and you slide this right up in place. And hold it together. You're going to get some glue in your hands. Thank goodness it's not like super glue, but you'll get a little glue on your hands doing this. And it doesn't take much for it to stick. It'll stick. You see we got a little bit of a hump here where they don't quite match quite perfect. If you get something like that, it doesn't look perfect, you can take a sharp pair of scissors and trim it up a little bit like that, and now you have a spliced feather. As I said, it's a little time consuming, but if you want some really nice feathers and you want to do it yourself, you don't want to pay somebody like me to build you a set of arrows, you can do it.